All right, y'all, we back with another crazy video. But before we get to all the madness and craziness, I need y'all to help me unplug some more people out of the Matrix, man. And you do that by hitting the like button, then putting hashtag unplugged in the comment section. And subscribe if you're new. Let's get to it.
You just don't hear much about Korea unless it relates to Kim Jong-un. We have North Korea we never really hear much good about, and South Korea, which is a bit freer. But how much do you really know about Korea?
Not much.
You're about to learn a little more. From high school until midnight to eating live octopus, here are 20 things that can't be seen anywhere but in Korea. Number 20. Transport subsidies for pregnant women. Being pregnant is hard. Not that I'd know, but so I've heard, of course. But life will get a little bit easier if you live in Seoul, North Korea. From June 2022, the Seoul city government started giving pregnant women transportation cost subsidies. If you are pregnant and have lived in Seoul for at least 6 months, you'll be eligible for 700,000 won or $540 in credit card points to be used for public transportation and gas bills. According to the city government, they believed this credit would be available for at least 43,000 eligible applicants. Something like this would never happen in America, so why is it happening in South Korea? Well, it was one of Mayor Oh Se-hoon's campaign pledges. The city government stated that the support plan was implemented to ease the financial burden of families with babies on the way. The only thing—
See that, ladies? Some people do care. You know what I mean? I know y'all be feeling like a lot of people don't care. Look at that. Look at this situation here.
You can expect in America is potential eligibility for Medicaid, CHIP, or the healthcare marketplace if you don't have insurance. You might also get free or simply low-cost care through government programs. Before we go on, like this video, smash the subscribe button and click the notification bell right now, or this centipede will crawl on your face when you're sleeping. Number 19. Real-time bus stop information. No one likes being crowded on a bus, especially if there's a chance you can miss out on a seat on a long journey to and from your destination. But that might be a problem of the past in Seoul. This advanced city that relies heavily on public transport has now installed screens at bus stops showing real-time information about buses along a route. Now, we all know this technology isn't new. Bus and BRT control centers have made this information available for many public and urban transport systems, but it hasn't been at bus stops. If you were waiting at a bus stop, it would be a guessing game to know when buses would arrive and whether they would help you get to your destination on time. It is no longer a guessing game. If you can see that several buses are traveling mere minutes apart and you notice that the first bus to arrive is already jam-packed full of passengers, you can wait for the next bus to come. The bus screens are also interactive, meaning you can learn more about different travel routes and enjoy up-to-the-minute information about them. If you're interested, you can even see public information like weather forecasts, road conditions, and financial news.
See, I wish they had this type of stuff when I was younger, man. When I was visiting home in New Jersey one time and I took a bus, I had no clue where I was going and ended up somewhere I had no clue where I was at, bro. But this type of stuff right here, that wouldn't have happened to me. You know what I mean? It was dark, it was late, and if you know my neighborhood, that ain't good. You know what I mean? So to have something like this, man, I know a lot of people would benefit from this.
This is a game changer for many who have become tired of being fortune tellers regarding when their bus will arrive.
Yeah, that
Number
too.
18. Giving and receiving gifts. Most of us don't think twice about splitting the bill at a local restaurant between the number of diners in our groups. Service workers even know to ask whether people want separate checks, but that would be unthinkable in South Korea. There, it's not uncommon for members of the group to race to the counter to pay for the entire table and pushing and shoving matches to break out over who will be paying for everything. Generous is definitely a word you would use to describe people living in South Korea. They love giving gifts.
Not here. Everybody got the Tyrannosaurus Rex arms when the check come. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'd be like, seriously, you know it. They be trying to find out or make their way to the bathroom, hope they come back and the check is paid for.
helping people when they're in trouble and giving monetary donations and loans when they're in a position to do so. Ask anyone outside of South Korea and they would say it's an honor thing. The Korean way is about face, duty, honor, and justice, and paying for everyone's share is one way to show that you are honorable. Then there's the custom of refusing a gift or offer at least 4 times. A person must present a gift 4 times, and the recipient must refuse it at least 4 times. It might be considered rude if you simply say thank you for the gift. Even loaning money is quite a big deal in South Korea. Many people prefer to borrow money from friends, family, and private moneylenders rather than go through a public bank. While the interest rates and dangers are much higher than banks, South Koreans like being able to bypass all the paperwork dramas and, of course, the government snooping about taxes. Number 17. Traditional clothing for the Korean New Year. It's not uncommon for traditions in various cultures and countries to die out. The world is changing, and customs that once meant a lot to some families are now no longer around or relevant. Sometimes they're replaced with others. Sadly, it seems that's happening with the Korean New Year regarding traditional clothing known as hanbok. Whenever families in Korea started getting ready for the Lunar New Year, they would buy a new set of hanbok. Hanbok is a 2-piece outfit featuring embroidered cotton or silk, and both men and women wear it. It's also a style of dress modeled from 17th and 18th century clothing worn during the Joseon dynasty. It has been a preferred New Year wardrobe for centuries, and families would get together in newly made hanbok, bow to each other, and wish each other good health and fortune. But could hanbok be dying out? It sure seems that way.
See, I like stuff like this because it's tied to some type of tradition. I like this type of stuff, but I hate like Christmas pajamas. I don't know why. I'm just weird like that. I like this type of stuff intrigues me, but when Christmas comes around, everybody like, oh, put on the PJs and the jammies. I don't ever want to do it. Cleaning usually ends up forcing me to do it.
To some sources, hanbok are still in hot demand for weddings, but a hanbok dress for a wedding might be the only such garment a bride would purchase. Young couples are also having fewer children, which means their Lunar New Year celebrations are much smaller and not as much importance is placed on traditional garments. Number 16. Special school uniforms. School uniforms are becoming a bit more common in the United States. At least 20% of all public schools have a uniform mandate, but just 10% of high schools do, compared to 22% of elementary schools and 19% of middle schools. In Korea and many other countries, in fact, school uniforms are a bit more commonplace. Most, if not all, elementary and high schools have uniforms, which differ by region, school, and even class. For Korea, it's about pride. The uniforms are called gyoboks, and students wear them from middle to high school. There are different uniforms for boys and girls, and even different uniforms based on whether it's summer or winter. Everything down to their socks, shoes, and belts must be the same. If students partake in physical education, they must also wear PE uniforms. Even though uniform styles and types differ from school to school and region to region, some elements are similar across the country. For example, most summer uniforms are navy, while winter uniforms are often gray. They might also include blazers, sweaters, jackets, and a safari-style uniform in the summer months. If you're a girl, you'll most likely wear a pleated skirt or long dress trousers, a white shirt with sleeves and a collar, a tie, a vest, and white socks. Boys usually wear dress trousers, a white shirt with sleeves and a collar, a vest, a jacket, tie, white socks, and a belt. Number 15. Korean Soju. What would you assume would be the #1 selling liquor by volume? You might guess vodka or possibly even the beverage White Claw, but it's actually something you might not have even heard of. Soju. Soju is a popular spirit from Korea that can be between 20 to 24% alcohol by volume. Now, obviously, this is much lighter than many other options, like vodka, which is generally about 40%. If you were to compare Soju to any other spirit, it would most likely compare to vodka. It has a neutral flavor, but doesn't come with that familiar burn you'd expect with spirits like vodka. It's the most popular alcohol in Korea, but also quite popular in other Asian countries like Japan and China. China. The taste of soju can depend on the manufacturer, as there are no rules or laws surrounding the ingredients that you use to make it. Most options on the market taste similar to vodka, but it's not uncommon for it to be slightly sweeter and even more viscous or syrupy. Soju is a distilled spirit, but its low alcohol content means that restaurants have more freedom to serve it. It can be served in some states like California and New York without a specialty liquor license. You only need a beer and wine permit. And unlike other spirits that you typically wouldn't drink straight, soju is quite comfortable to drink straight, although you might like to use it as the foundation of cocktails. Number 14.
Interesting. I'm gonna have to look
Very
that one up.
few public trash cans. When you're enjoying lunch in a public space, you finish what you're eating and throw your trash into a public bin. But if you're in South Korea, you'd most likely need to put it in your pocket or backpack and wait until you get home to dispose of it. That's because it's next to impossible to find trash cans in public places, and it's frustrating for locals and visitors alike. If you're gonna purchase food from local businesses, it's only natural to need to dispose of the resultant waste. But the city government has made it challenging to do so by removing 3,900 trash cans up until 2007. In 1995, the city of Seoul introduced the Jongnyeongji system, which was a way for the city to cut waste by putting the financial responsibility of garbage on the citizens. You had to buy your own special bags to dispose of waste, and public trash cans were removed to stop people from bypassing the system and just getting rid of their household waste in a public space. But it's had the opposite effect. Now, the very few available bins are overflowing and litter is more common. Some residents talk about how disgusting it is to see plastic wrappers and cigarette butts scattered everywhere, especially as the problem could be solved with the installation of more bins. Seoul officials might have realized their blunder, and they're slowly trying to correct it. After large numbers of complaints from tourists and locals, they installed 2,500 new bins. But they got a long way to go before matching the likes of Paris and Berlin, which have more than 20,000 public trash bins and fewer residents than Seoul. Number 13. High schoolers studying until midnight. Education is a big deal in many countries, but South Korea probably takes the top spot regarding work ethic and how hard students work. South Korea has always had some of the highest achievers, but at what cost? Students are burning the candle at both ends. Many students will rise at 6:30 a.m. and possibly even earlier to get to school for classes at 8 a.m. School will then finish at 4 or 5 p.m. For many students, though, that's not the end of the school day. They will then set off to a second school for private lessons, typically from 6 p.m. until 9 p.m. There will then be another 2 hours of self-study at school before some students finally arrive at home at 11 p.m. They might enjoy food, a shower, time to unwind, head off to bed after midnight, then rise again at 6:30 a.m. before doing it all again. According to
Man, you try that here. You think the dropout rate is high already, fam. You'll have like literally nobody in class. They can pull that off over there. Over here, man, y'all know. Y'all seen people in class before. You know that ain't going down here.
In many sources, South Korean parents often spend
Not to say we don't need it, though. Yeah, test scores are horrible. That is not what I'm saying. I'm just saying what would probably happen, but we could stand to use it, though.
thousands of dollars on after-school tuition and private schooling above and beyond a full day of public school. It's believed that because Korea has few natural resources, its resources are its people. If you want to be successful, you have to stand out, which can require hard work and dedication. Number 12. Matching clothes for couples. You would not want to be single and lonely in South Korea, that's for sure. You'd be surrounded by love, with bragging being the done thing when it comes to couples in love. When you're in a relationship in South Korea, you typically celebrate your relationship at least 3 times a year, post often about all the coupley things you've been up to on social media, and take monthly romantic holidays. It's also not uncommon for couples to wear matching clothing. This is a trend taking off in South Korea, but it's yet to take off elsewhere. Many clothing stores now offer his and her garments with complementary colors and styles, or completely identical gender-neutral outfits like overalls. Couples will even make a point of wearing matching shoes. The goal is to show people that you're an in-love couple who does everything together. Would you wear matching clothing with your significant other? Number 11. Korean barbecue. Dining with a group can
Have y'all been yet? I've heard a lot of people talk about these Korean barbecue spots, and we have some here in Atlanta. I just haven't been yet, and I want to go. But I could use some, you know what I mean, some suggestions from y'all. Is it worth going to? I've heard nothing but good things about it. But y'all let me know in the comment section.
sometimes be challenging. While you can all order separate dishes, you can't help but pore over the group menus and wonder whether it would be a logistical nightmare to order a meal designed to feed 4 to 6 people, or even more. Will it really feed that many people? Will some people go hungry? Well, that's usually not the case with Korean barbecue, a popular dining option in Korea and now in many other parts of the world, like the United States.
Yep.
The main event of any barbecue is, of course, the meat, and Korea goes all out. There's galbi and bulgogi beef, which is usually short ribs and thinly sliced ribeye, brisket, or sirloin. You also get to enjoy doeji bulgogi pork, bulldog chicken, also known as fire chicken with a spicy sweet sauce, and ssamjang sauce that you can pair with absolutely everything, from seafood to meat to vegetables, and everything in between. Most Korean barbecues also come with lettuce and perilla leaves that you use to wrap your meat. After all, you don't want to get your hands dirty. And what meat dish is finished without garnishes? You'll generally find
Can't lie, I might not even need y'all suggestions, bro. This is looking good. Oh, man.
no shortage of green Korean chilies, scallions, garlic cloves, and toasted sesame seeds. Finally, the side dishes. Once you've had your fill of meat, you can tuck into pickled and fermented vegetables and rice, followed by beverages like wine, beer, soju, and makgeolli. Number 9. There are plenty of public restrooms. South Korea might lack public trash receptacles, but they certainly don't lack public restrooms, and clean ones at that. Ask any visitor and they'll tell you that South Korea has some of the most sanitary public toilets in the world, even compared to the United States and Western Europe. And
Wow.
you won't have any trouble finding one. Public bathrooms are everywhere you look and are by no means basic or
Who's that? Yeah, do they have a remote control?
one. Public bathrooms are everywhere you
Well, like a remote control there on the side of the toilet. You know what I mean? Don't tell me when you shut the stall door, there's a little flat screen right there. I'd be in there for a while. Man, is there anything better than a TV in your bathroom? Or am I just weird? I'm probably just weird, and that's okay. I accept being weird, but I love a TV in my bathroom. I can't help it.
look and are by no means basic or ordinary. Most of them are not only ultra clean, but they're packed full of features for convenience and comfort, such as warm air dryers, heated toilet seats, and even bidets to clean your bottom. You might even find some playing classical music so that you can have a relaxing time peeing. Even families are well catered for, with special seats to strap children into and miniature toilets for little kids who might not be large enough for traditional toilets quite yet. If you're self-conscious about your bowel movements, you might even be able to find a toilet that lets you play a rushing sound to mask the sounds your own body makes. The only thing you might struggle with as a non-Korean reading visitor is how to use the toilets. Some of them are so advanced with so many buttons that finding the simple flush button can be challenging. Number 8. Workaholism is a big deal. South Korea is a workaholic society. It's not uncommon for people to work upwards of 60 hours a week, leaving very little time for a social life or family time. It has become such a problem that the South Korean government has had to step in. In 2018, they got the ball rolling on labor reforms to stop people from overworking themselves. And if you thought companies and employees could work as many hours as they wanted to under these new laws, you'd be wrong. The maximum number of working hours in a week was slashed from 68 to 52 for companies with over 300 employees. Any employers violating those laws would face 2 years in prison or a fine of 20 million won, the equivalent of almost $18,000. These
Wow.
laws might sound draconian, but they are necessary. Ask any spouse of someone who would work themselves into an early grave. One woman said her husband worked at a food supplier. He'd spend the week traveling to factories owned by the company to oversee production. On Saturdays, he'd be in the main office completing paperwork. Then, whenever he was at home, he fielded calls from employees. Any spare time he had was spent sleeping, and he was constantly fatigued. The man was found dead on the floor of his office, and it's believed that he died of being overworked. Comparing South Korea to other OECD countries, they work more hours per week on average than any other country apart from Germany. Number 7.
So if y'all need to use that to tell them they overworking, y'all, show them this video and show them how somebody died. You know what I mean? Because listen, if you let them, they'll overwork you, bro. 50, 60 hours a week. It's crazy. And I know some of y'all are doing that right now.
Jimjilbang public bathhouses. If there's one thing you need to experience on a trip to South Korea, it's a visit to a public bathhouse, also known as a Jimjilbang. These sex-segregated bathhouses have hot tubs, traditional kiln saunas, showers, and massage tables. Often, they're situated within buildings with common areas, with snack bars, heated floors, lounging, exercise rooms, ice rooms, TV rooms, and even sleeping rooms with bunk beds and mats. Basically, if you want to have a relaxing but also weird day, you'd visit a public bathhouse. Most Jimjilbang public bathhouses in South Korea are open 24/7 and are a popular pastime for families and workers who want to relax after a hard day. You pay an entry fee of between 8,000 to 12,000 won to enter, which is about $8, and you can sleep there overnight. Wow, okay, I might need to plan a trip to South Korea. That's so much cheaper than staying in a hotel. While you're there, you may as well treat yourself to a few snacks. Some of the most popular options at these bathhouses are iced siki, which is a sweet rice beverage, iced coffee, baked eggs, which are slow cooked in a sauna, and miyuk guk, a seaweed soup with a mussel-based broth. Number 6. Free walking tours. If you've decided to organize a vacation in South Korea, you might find it challenging to immerse yourself in the culture. It's hard to know what to visit and how to gain the most insight into how locals live everyday life. But you might have some luck by signing up for a walking tour. These are generally offered free of charge, and there are dozens in Seoul alone. The best tours are those provided by students who want to work on their English skills and show off some of the hidden gems of South Korea and its largest cities. There are many standout walking tours available, such as the Sky Park, Seafood Market, and Street Food Tour offered by an art major student.
I'm not necessarily a tour guy, though. Like, when I go to, like, other places, I guess I am. Because I like to go to the local famous spots to eat. So I guess I am kind of a tour guy. I just never really thought of, like, going... I don't know, when I think of tours, I think of, like, what you see in Hollywood on TV where people going and they showing and pointing out celebrity homes and stuff like that. I just find that one kind of weird. Like, they're like, this person lives here and maybe we can catch them coming out of their house. I'm like, no. I kind of cringe at that a little bit. But I guess when it comes to food... when we went to the mountains, going to like the moonshine tasting and doing different things like that, that's the type of stuff I like doing. You know what I mean? The other stuff I kind of cringe at though.
You get to climb the hundreds of stairs up to Hanyul Sky Park, enjoy the views of the towering city skyline of Seoul and Han River, and enjoy the park renowned for its silver grass, which is celebrated with a festival every year. The tour also includes a quick snack stop, where those with iron stomachs can try sanakji, a Korean delicacy where a street vendor chops up octopus and douses them in sesame oil. Sometimes their tentacles are still wriggling. Some walking tours focus on areas off the beaten track, while others allow you to enjoy some of the more well-known tourist destinations.
I'll watch y'all try it. And it's still moving. I ain't doing that. But I'll watch y'all try.
It's really up to you, and you often don't have to spend a cent. Number 5. City tour buses. One of the most challenging parts about visiting a country you're unfamiliar with is knowing how to get around. It can be even more complicated when your language isn't the most commonly spoken one in the country you're visiting. You might find it challenging to know which forms of public transport to use, or even how to use taxis and rental vehicles. If you find yourself booking a trip to South Korea, you'll be pleased to know you have the option of using city tour buses. City tour buses are affordable and convenient and allow you to see the best of South Korea. They are organized organized shuttle tours that visit the most popular attractions in Seoul, and you can hop on and off as you see fit. The best part is that you can purchase a single ticket and get on and off as many times as you like. There are also night buses that run without stopping. Now, you might think that you have to speak Korean to maximize your experience on these tour buses, but you don't. You can pop on a pair of the provided single-use headphones when you get on the bus and enjoy an audio tour in English, Chinese, Japanese, Korean, French, Russian, Spanish, German, Malaysian, Indonesian, Thai, and Vietnamese. The tour bus operators even have plans to include Italian, Hindi, Portuguese, and Arabic. Most tour buses in operation are open air, but they come equipped with snow and rain covers so that you can remain warm, dry, and comfortable no matter the weather. Number 4. Korean Karaoke Bars. While some cities wind down when night falls, South Korea doesn't. In fact, they're just getting started. When day turns to night, you can venture out to one of the many karaoke bars, commonly known as noraebang. Noraebang means singing room, and there are many options to choose from, no matter where you go in South Korea's most well-established cities. You might decide to visit Helicon in Seoul, which has private rooms with high-quality audio, video, and lighting equipment. You can sing to your heart's content and enjoy some of the best food and beverages in the Helicon bar. Alternatively, you might head off to the Awesome Coin Noraebang, a more budget-friendly option. You can sing one or multiple songs and enjoy solo or group rooms. There are even rooms with floor heating. If you have a few hours or more to kill, Subsum Gray in Gangnam-gu, Seoul should be at the top of your must-visit list. Here, you can enjoy a movie in a theater, play some games in the arcade, have a massage, and then head to the 4th floor and enjoy some karaoke. This establishment even has a dog cafe, so it's bound to be a firm favorite. Number 3. Eating live octopus.
Back here again?
If you want to experience South Korea like an authentic Korean, you probably need to talk yourself into enjoying sanakji. Basically, it's octopus sashimi, and it's something you'll either love or hate. You'll visit a restaurant offering it, such as the Noryangjin Fish Market in Seoul, request sanakji, and wait. You'll then be served chopped up raw octopus on a plate. That doesn't sound all that bad, because we eat all.
Only thing I can think about is like the Addams Family. Remember how Addams Family, they would show like the back in the day shows, and you see them eating like stuff like this? That's the only thing I think of.
All types of raw food, such as seafood and even beef. But octopus is different. Many food establishments purchase octopus live and cut it up right before serving it to you. The tentacles you receive on your plate are still moving. You would either enjoy this dish or send it back and opt for something more dead.
Yeah, but you gotta be careful. Can't like the suction on the stuff like mess with your air, like close your. I don't know, man. No, thank you.
Number 2. A Korean facial. Skincare is a huge part of many people's routines in South Korea. In fact, South Korea is known for its beauty industry, full stop. Many people travel from all over the world to enjoy the best facial treatments and cosmetic surgery. According to some studies, 85,000 people visited South Korea for dermatological care, and over 90,000 came for plastic surgery in 2019. If you're looking for the best facial treatments, South Korea is easily considered the best in the world. If you were to get a facial in South Korea, you typically experience some of the following treatments, depending on the facility you visited: double cleansing, mask, facial massage, and creams and ampules. Most facials take about an hour, and you leave with your skin feeling much more hydrated than you thought possible. Double cleansing is a core part of most facials, and the service providers will typically use oil-based products to remove any foundation or makeup you're using. They also use a gentle exfoliation technique, which is much softer on your skin than products in North America. After double cleansing, you can enjoy a massage that includes your face, neck, shoulders, and all around your breasts without actually touching your breasts. You might even receive a Korean facial mask with thin gauze and a thick collagen modeling mask. These cover your entire face, including your eyes and lips. The last step of a Korean facial is creams, like skin creams, eye creams, and SPF. Number 1.
Fellas, you have to get a second job to afford all that stuff.
Themed cafes. Cafes in most parts of the world are pretty ordinary. The decor might be relaxing or neutral, but they aren't anything special. It's a different story in South Korea because many cafes are themed. It's
Hello
not
Kitty.
uncommon to see Hello Kitty themed cafes, airplane inspired cafes, Line Friends themed cafes, and even a poop themed cafe. If you want food from somewhere a little out of the ordinary and moving octopus is too mainstream for you, see if you can find
Poop themed. I don't know, just speaking for me, that's like the last thing I want circling through my mind as I'm trying to enjoy my meal. Like, poop is not what I want circling the brain. No.
a themed cafe to tick all the right boxes. Half of this stuff I would have never even guessed. Did you know that you could eat live octopus in South Korea, or that there could be so many themed cafes in one place? Well, now you're a little bit.
That's the end of the video, but I heard you got to be careful. Like I said, the suctions could kind of stick to your windpipe or something like that and kind of close off your breathing, stop your breathing. So I would be careful with that live octopus stuff, bro. If you're not familiar with it, don't be out here trying it just because you on vacation and don't know what you're doing. So I hate to hear about you in the hospital or something like that, or even worse. But I never knew this stuff about Korea, man. Y'all get at me in the comment section. Let me know what you thought of this stuff. Were you aware? Start hearing some different things about it. All right, it's your boy L. Till the next one, I'm gone, man. Peace.